It's you and Jay.
Let's call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Enslinger.
Here.
Jerza. Larson.
Here.
Osterloop.
Here.
Penny. Schmitz. Sonny.
Here.
Dosher. We have a quorum.
Okay. A proposed agenda has been provided to us. Is there anyone on the board here that takes a look at it and decides they might have a conflict of interest as one of the things that's on that agenda? Hearing none, let's move on to the agenda itself.
Item 9, it should be Bill Woodstruck, not Randy Woodstruck. Had the wrong brother on there.
Okay.
Move to approve with the correction. Second.
Moved and seconded that the agenda be approved as corrected. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. The minutes of the previous meeting of November 13th were also provided in the packet of information to us. Do I hear any additions or corrections to those minutes?
Move to approve. Second.
Moved and seconded that the minutes be approved as presented. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. The next meeting should be tentatively scheduled for the 11th of December.
Move to approve. Second.
Moved and seconded that the schedule for next month be, the next meeting be the 11th of December. Discussion on the motion.
That will be our last meeting for the year. We won't have one on the 26th. So.
Thank you. Other discussion? Hearing none, assume you're ready to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is a variance by Corey Hauser. He has applied for a variance permit for a side yard corner setback of 1.33 feet versus 20 feet to construct a 24-foot wide and 20-foot metal carport located at 1420 East Birch, legally described as Lot 12, Block 6, Fairview Edition, City of Mitchell, Davis County, South Dakota. The said real property is zoned R2 Single Family Residential Development. Okay, we've had some information in the packet. Mark, can you provide us any more?
Yep, notices were sent out to neighbors, posted in the paper, signs posted. There was one letter received in favor that did not make the packet. The applicant would just like to put a carport in front of their garage to the east side of it. As you can see from in the packet, their dimensions that they had to the existing garage is 33 feet 10. Minus off the depth of it gives you 1.33 feet. That still is outside of the sidewalk, so there would still be the sidewalk there if there was any in the future for that. It'd be a metal carport from Menards or something like that. Nothing big structurally, just probably 2x2 poles that would go for the roof holding that. You can see from street view the look of that area to begin with. It'd be abutting the alley. Their bush that's there to begin with. I don't know if the applicant is here or not. Yep, applicant's here.
Would you like to talk to us?
No.
Okay. Any questions? I assume we're ready for a motion. What's our recommendation to the council?
Well, we approved something that's similar to, by Pioneer Park, that carport, that little carport, which wasn't supposed to be attached to the house. Was one of our agreements. Well, I don't know if we agreed to it, but, was there any complaints later on at all about that carport?
Not that I'm aware of. I can think of another carport at Fifth and Bridle that has some brick on it, so that's even a little bit bigger than what this is, but that isn't a side corner, that would be just a front yard.
Well, this, the corner is to the alley. So. Do I hear a motion?
I'll move to approve. I'll second.
Moved and seconded that we recommend approval of this variance to the council. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, I assume you're ready to vote. Mark, let's go roll call on this rascal.
Genslinger,
No.
Osterloo,
Yes.
Sonny,
Yes.
Larson.
No.
Motion failed, but it'll go to council for final.
Next item. CUP permit. CJG Properties LLC applies for a conditional use permit to operate a lodging house and supportive living home located at 918 Court Merrill, legally described as Lot A, except the north 8 feet of Block 3, University Edition, City of Mitchell, Davidson County, South Dakota. The said real property is currently zoned R2 Single Family Residential. And if I remember our zoning code right, that is an appropriate request for that area. Is that not true, Mark?
Yep.
Can you talk to us a little more about what's going on there?
Yep, so it was noticed in the paper, sent out to neighbors, signposted. There was one response that was opposed that made the packet, 5 letters in opposition that did not make the packet, but have them in front of you right now. Applicant's here if you have any questions for him. Applicant was looking to purchase his property and use it as a rental house. For our code, 4 is really what we go by for in a rental unit, but it's not something that we go out and investigate. It's a complaint-driven basis for that, but after discussion, he wanted to make sure he was doing the right thing, so looking through ordinance, he decided on the lodging house, which is kind of our Airbnbs, and he was in a conversation with some other people about using it for a supportive living home as well. Applicant can give you more information than what I can probably give you. I do not believe he's closed on the house. I believe this is pushed back to closing because he wanted to see if he could get the conditional use before that. So.
Okay. Applicant, where are you?
How you doing?
Be sure to introduce yourself for the record, please.
Jeremy Gunkel. Actually, yes, we actually was going to purchase a close on the house a couple of weeks ago. My plan was to turn it into a rental dwelling for college kids. It is an 8-bedroom house. Actually, it's listed as a 6-bedroom house, but 2 rooms can be made into bedrooms by adding the doors because I already have closets in them, so it could be into an 8-bedroom house. But I wanted to try to find something to do until next August when college kids are looking for houses. I went and talked to Mark, and that's when we found out that you cannot have more than 4 unrelated guests in a house at a time. And I didn't want to have to worry about complaints or any of this. I wanted to make sure we're doing it the right way. And so we pushed off closing until we can find out what we can do here. So my plan is to turn it into a 8-bedroom rental unit for college housing. So, but I do have had a couple of groups reach out to me for some supportive living homes as well. So they haven't made any final decisions, kind of waiting to see what's going on here as well. So, any questions?
Questions, folks?
Define supportive living?
There's one, for example, there's one that's called Oxford Housing, which already operates a couple houses in town. It's kind of a housing unit where they have a person in the unit that's responsible for everything, but it's kind of like a second chance for attics, whatnot. They have and I could get more testimonial from neighbors that are in those areas, but they haven't had any complaints. It is a 0 chance if they relapse, they're kicked out. That is one place. Salvation Army has reached out to me, which we have a meeting next week to discuss opportunities with them. So there's a couple different things. But my main thing is I just want to do, actually really want to do is this rental house for college kids. And I do have a bunch of college houses around town that are rented out. I give all my neighbors my phone numbers. I don't put up with any, I have really good luck. And the neighbors have my phone numbers. If there's any mischief or anything, they let me know right away and I take care of it right away. So, but that's kind of where we're at.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
This is probably a question for Justin, but I'll ask you first, Mark. Could this come in the form of 2 separate motions?
Yes, I would say do it in 2 separate motions, one for the lodging house and one for the supportive living.
Great.
Justin, have you got any comments for us?
Mark, you said rentals are typically in R4.
We have rentals in R3 and R4. We have rentals all over the town. We don't have in our ordinance specific verbiage for rentals. That's something that with the ordinance amendment that we're working on to address something like that. The definition of family in our ordinance is 4 people non-related for nonprofit. Any rental that you know of is a profit business. So technically, anything in R2, R3, R4, if it's in a single dwelling, would be non-conforming. But there again, I say, I'm not going out until it's a complaint to go by that complaint-driven basis.
What's your pleasure, folks?
Does anybody else get to say something?
Absolutely.
Please come to the podium.
I assume you've all read my letter my husband and I wrote, Michael and Carolyn Civic.
And the name, please?
I'm Carolyn Civic.
Okay, thank
We
you.
live at 916 Court Merrill, which is right next door. I don't want to repeat everything in our letter,
We
but
appreciate that.
but I would like to just sort of talk about Mitchell a little bit. Mitchell does a great job of promoting itself. Come live in Mitchell, move to Mitchell, invest in Mitchell, buy a house in Mitchell, work in Mitchell, raise your kids in Mitchell. We've done that. We moved here from New Hampshire 19 years ago. We picked where we lived, and we're still there based on the fact that it was a neighborhood full of people doing the same thing we were, investing in their property, raising their families, looking at it as a form of either retirement to stay or leave. A lot of work, a lot of investment. There's a lot of advertising also about staying in Mitchell. You know, raise your kids, have them stay in Mitchell, have them stay in South Dakota, that kind of thing. We feel like we have spent 19 years doing that, investing in this. Investing in this city, spending thousands of dollars on our property. We just built a brand-new garage because we decided as we've aged and we're retiring, both of us will be retired in January, that we needed that type of thing to make our lives easier to stay where we live. So if something like this were to be okayed, we would feel betrayed, to be honest with you, by the city of Mitchell. It would feel like the rug has been pulled out from under us at a time in our life when it would limit a lot of our choices as far as our future goes. My daughter also bought a house right around the corner. She also received a letter, and she and her family bought a house there for the same reasons that we did. It's been a wonderful place to live, and I think if you read some of the other letters, at least one I know of, they all agree. A lot of us were here for the long term, and we were putting our faith in Mitchell, a small town that's also a city. To all the opportunities here, And then now it's almost like bait and switch, to be honest with you. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I address one more time?
Absolutely.
I do feel that whatever I've done in Mitchell, I've actually increased the property values around the neighborhoods that I've bought properties at. I keep my places as well as I can. You know, we own the Main Street Mercantile. I think we've done a good job there. We just bought the Trading Post. We're redoing that. I mean, I do understand the neighbors' concerns, but this place was operated as an Abbott House, you know. Well, I just want the council to know that it was an Abbott House, so it was a house of a shared living community to begin with, so.
May I give up again? May I speak again? Abbott House was actually a foster home, and that was a family, and it was run like it was a family living there. That's completely different than on a weekly, daily, monthly, 6-monthly, or whatever basis of having who knows who living next door to us. Even if they're wonderful people, we would never know who's there on a regular basis. That's completely different than as a foster home. We had no problems with it as a foster home. Okay, that's all.
Okay, thank you.
We're not moving next to Main Street Mercantile.
No, but I just wanted to make you feel at ease.
I understand.
I have a question for you. How long has that house been on the market?
It was, I believe it was put up on the market in, like the beginning of September.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Gentlemen, what's your pleasure?
I like the idea of splitting it up, like Jacob said, got two different options.
Which one first?
What's he applying for?
Do the lodging house first.
Let's do the lodging house first. Let's make a motion to approve so we can get to a vote
Yep.
as a lodging house.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Do I hear a roll call, please?
Osterloo,
No.
Sonny,
Yes.
Genslinger,
No.
Larson.
Yes.
Motion failed, 50-50.
All right, let's have another motion.
So the next one was for a rental unit?
Yes.
Supportive
No,
living.
supportive living.
Supportive living, yep.
Okay, make that motion to get to a vote.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded that we again, repeat the motion, please.
Motion to approve the supportive living conditional use permit.
Okay, thank you. Do I hear discussion? Mark, roll call, please.
Sonny,
No.
Genslinger,
No.
Osterloo,
No.
Larson.
No.
Motion failed.
Next item on the agenda, plan approval. Bill Wittstruck at 1005 South Kimball, Zone Highway Business, would like to build a new shed. Mark,
Yes.
you want to talk to us?
Yep, so if you recall, Bill previously had rezoned some land in this area to highway business, and also the alley back here was vacated a while ago as well with all the neighbors. He built a shed on the south lot, which is right here is the existing shed that he's building. He's finishing that up right now. He would like to build another shed on the north lot on 105. It'll be the exact same shed there. Drainage will come out to the street, just like on this shed as well. Bill's here if you have any questions for him at all.
Anybody got any questions for Bill? How about the audience? Anybody got any questions for Bill? Bill, you want to make any comments other than what we've already heard?
I think you know it all.
Okay, thank you. Do I hear a motion?
Move to approve. Second.
Moved and seconded that we approve this plan. Is there discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. Next item, Don DeBoer at 1327 East Havens, Zoned Highway Business District. He would also like to put up a building, we understand.
Yep, so the applicant would like to build another residence on their property. Since it's highway business, single-family dwellings are not allowed unless they are an accessory to the commercial activity and it's a residence of the proprietor. So he's the owner of that business there, so he'd like to build another house there. I believe it's his daughter is living in the other one, or will be living in the other one. It's gonna be a Quality Homes house that will be moving in there if it's approved.
Okay.
Can answer any questions that you have for this.
So is there anything against two residences on a single property?
Because they are still with father-daughter, it's still considered single-family dwelling because of that.
And she's obviously associated with the business as well, I would guess.
Yep.
Probably husband.
Otherwise, it would be multifamily and then it'd be a conditional use.
Yeah. What's your pleasure, folks? I don't see anybody in the audience, so I won't ask for comments unless Bill's got one.
No.
Move to approve. Second.
Moved and seconded that the plan be approved. Discussion. Hearing none, I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign? Carried. Is there any other business to come before this body at this time? Fire Marshal, we haven't heard from you for a long time.
Been busy.
Keeps you out of mischief, don't it?
Try to. Haven't been in Bob's office recently.
If there's no other business before this body at this time, if you need to address the board on an item that was not on the agenda, we are open for public input. Excluding personnel items, you may come forward and to the podium, state your name and your concern. Presentations are limited to 3 minutes. Items will be considered, but no action will be taken at this time. As I see no one coming forward to the podium, we are adjourned.